I put together, one of the largest copper companies, in the early 90s, 92, 93. And I left that company in 2000, and I dabbled around in the internet market and watched crash. NASDAQ, dropped 80% for a period of, 3 years from 2000, into 2003, which really lit up the resource sector. And that was when gold was, bottoming out in 2001, 2002 at $250 an ounce, and silver was down at $5 an ounce. And I wanted to get back into the mining sector, and then I looked around and I thought about putting a gold company together, but there was just so many gold companies around. And I'm a big believer in gold. I think everyone should have gold, but coming from a copper company, I'm really a supply-demand fundamentalist. And when I started looking at silver, I just was blown away by the supply-demand story. We didn't have EVs back then. We didn't have solar panels back then, for the most part, anyways. But I looked at cell phones. I thought cell phones was really the place. I remember when the first cell phone from Motorola came out. That's how old I am. So, I remember black and white TVs, color televisions, fax machines. I witnessed all this stuff coming into being. This technology. I want to ride the technology wave, because I'm a huge believer in technology and the advances that technology and the benefits technology brings to the human race. And I just thought silver was a really good way to play the technology race. And since then, we've seen now two big markets: the EV market, which is taking up over 10% of world supply, approaching actually likely 20% this year, maybe next year. But we're producing as an industry 800 million ounces of silver a year in 2019, which is the last numbers I saw, because there wasn't any official numbers that came out in 2020 as far as I know. But we've consumed 65 million ounces of silver in 2019, spread over 6 million electric cars. So you do the math, and I don't know what the 2021 numbers are. I'm dying to see them. But I saw an article out of an analyst in London about a month ago, and he's predicting that the solar panel industry is going to consume 140 million ounces of silver in 2022. I don't know what the electric car industry is going to consume, but you've got two brand new buyers of silver that are now consuming almost 30% of the world's supply of silver. And these buyers didn't exist a decade ago.
Wow. Yes, some of that math is crazy. I was just doing math on the lithium market actually yesterday. Known global reserves versus like approximately 8 kilograms in one battery, and I was just like toying around with the math. How many vehicles are there in the US? How many are in China? How many are in the world? And then doing the math based off of where governments are making the mandates. And I do this math and I go, has anyone that is proposing these ideas done this math? And I think maybe Elon Musk might be the only one, because he got in trouble for, the supposed coup d'etat in Bolivia to try to control lithiums. And he also has they have a patent for lithium extraction. And I'm like doing the math and I'm like, geez, like the amount that is needed for the electric cars based off of these, pretty much all these big governments, whether it's EU, Canada, a lot, Gavin Newsom, they're pretty much all by like 2030. Well, there's 280 million cars just in the United States. There's another 280 million in China. There's over 1.5 billion cars in the world. And they say like they're all going to be electric by 2030, 2040. And I'm doing the math on lithium. I'm like I almost felt like a smart ass in the back of the class. Like, hey, has anyone ever done this math before? And when you're saying that about silver, it's amazing because it's the exact same thing. That's why I was always so much more interested in gold versus silver, because of these supply demand things. For someone like me who's not a rocket scientist, I can just look at the math and be like, this doesn't make much sense. And
that's why I say to people, we need $10 copper prices. We need $100 silver prices, because, the miners need the incentive to make the investment. And the numbers that, when during the lockdowns, I was doing research as well. And, there's about 95 million automobiles produced every year. 2020 was obviously a low number, but on average over the last decade, that's approximately how many cars get produced each year. And there was only 6 million cars. 6 million of the 95 million were electric cars.
Wow.
Yeah. So if governments want to replace fuel combustion cars by 2030 or 2040, that's a big change. And you now see Audi and Volkswagen and BMW and of course the U.S. manufacturers as well. We're seeing more and more automobile companies producing electric cars. So that 6 million is probably a much bigger number because that's a bit of an old number. But nevertheless, that's a ton of silver. And if it's about a kilo of silver per electric car. You'll never get that number out of the auto industry because they won't tell you. They're paranoid about telling you because they don't want anyone to know how much metal they're consuming. But to get a silver mine producing, it's a minimum of 10 years. So, and that's if everything goes really smoothly. So you drill a hole and you discover economic silver. You're going to drill it out over a period of 4 to 5 years to make sure there's enough silver there. At the same time, you'll be doing permitting, talking with the governments, trying to, get this thing done. Then you got to finance the darn thing. And then you're going to construct it. And constructing, depending on the size, is going to take anywhere between 3 to 5 years. So from first discovery, it's a minimum of 10 years.